Shalom, 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 shalom. I'm Brother Aaron from Israel Gathering Together, Ghana. First of all, I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh and His Son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai is who the world calls Jesus Christ. Double honors to my brothers and all the congregation there in Israel Gathering Together, Cincinnati, and all the brothers and the congregation of HOI. As again, my name is Brother Aaron. And today, I'm going to do a class on sickness, health, and herbs. Sickness, health, and herbs. And really what I like to start off saying is, prior to me coming into the knowledge of this truth, as far as knowing who I am, what my purpose is, who my Lord and Savior is, and who His Lord is. Like, I didn't know any of that until I hit 40 years old. I was in the military for over 20 plus years. So, you know, I did what military men did, or what most military men do, which is drink, smoke, eat bad foods, you know, that type lifestyle. But definitely a lot of drinking, smoking, eating bad foods, things of that nature. That life is no more here, but I'm able to talk about it now. So I want to just say something like, as far as my health, you know, when I probably ran about 5-6 miles a day, really my entire time in the military. So basically, I'm in my 40s. I don't want to give the age up, but I'm damn near 50, so. But all praise be to the Most High God for that. So I'll just tell you, I'm 49 years old, about to turn 50. Last year, I used to run about 3-4 miles every day, except for the Sabbath and Sundays. And I started having some chest problems, right? So I didn't really know what it was, because I've been in pretty good health my entire life. So it got so bad to where I couldn't. If I would run maybe 30 seconds, my heart would, I would feel a pain begin to come in my chest. And then it got so bad where I got put in the hospital for 3 to 4 days. And I was actually hospital twice here in Ghana. So I made my mind up to travel back to America. And saw a lot of doctors there. And the first thing I ran a lot of tests, and they said I had about 3, possibly maybe more, minor heart attacks. And what these things are is, you don't really know that you're really having a heart attack. You just maybe have a chest pain. Sometimes you may have some irregular breathing. But mine was so bad that I had the pain, and it lasted almost 4 days. It was the worst pain I ever felt in my entire life. So I went to the doctor. They started prescribing me blood pressure medication because my cholesterol was very high, too high. They started prescribing me all types of medicine, man. I mean, it was like 5 or 6 types of medication. And then I gained probably maybe 40 something pounds. I was in the 240 plus range. And my normal weight is between 190 and 210. So, I put on a lot of weight, really from depression. I was sad because I thought maybe, I was told I didn't have a lot of time to live, and just a lot of sayings from the doctors in America, basically that mindset of Esau. But what happened was, I got brothers and sisters in the truth, and I was speaking to a brother, and he told me, he said, man, I need you to try the herbs, man. You got to come back to what God has given us. And I didn't even think of that, because I was in so much pain and torment mentally and spiritually, because I have children, I have a wife, I'm recently married. It was all types of things, And so that's what I did. And I've been doing this certain diet for about over a year now. Almost a year. And I now can run 30, 40 minutes straight instead of 30 seconds, I don't get chest pains anymore. It's just a lot of benefits to what I've done. So I want to kind of go over the things that I was taking. Now, there'll be a picture when you first watch my video. The first thing I started taking was pineapple, ginger, beetroots, um, pineapple, ginger, beetroots, carrots, and lemon, right? And I would blend all those up. I would blend everything besides the lemon up, right? So I would blend the pineapple, the beetroots, the ginger, and the carrot. I would blend those together and squeeze the juice out, right? Then I would take the lemon and squeeze the lemon juice inside, stir it up, and drink that. It would have a purplish tint color to it. I'm actually going to do a video where you'll actually see me actually making it, right? Well, I'm going to give you some of the benefits from some of these things that I was taking, right? So they have what is called HDL and LDL, right? The HDL is high density. It's talking about cholesterol, right? Anyway, if you go to your doctor and they tell you have good HDL, then that means you have good cholesterol. But when you have LDL, that's the low density. What that is, that's bad cholesterol that actually gets inside the walls of your arteries, right? And cells and things of that nature, and causes many health problems, and it leads to heart attacks and strokes. So what you want to do is you want to have good HDL. You want to replace things like potato chips, fried chicken, hamburgers. You understand? You see where I'm going, right? All the fried foods and all the greasy foods. You want to replace that. All the red meats. You got to replace that with things like fish, vegetables, lots of grain, lots of beans like walnuts and peanuts and walnuts, peanuts, and things of that nature. Pecans. You gotta replace those things with good good HDL, which is good cholesterol. And what those things do is they actually clear the blood of bad cholesterol, those foods. So like I said again, like walnuts, peanuts, what else? Cashews, those are great actually. Sunflower seeds, you have to eat those things and stop eating things like potato chips, Doritos. What else you got there? You got a big fat red steak with the blood coming out of it. I know brothers and sisters in Israel ain't doing that, but even so, you can't eat a lot of red meat. You just got to stay away from those type fried foods. Any type of fried foods, you got to stay away from it. You got to start baking your food. You know what I'm saying? Grilling your food. Grilling is actually the best. So that's what I did prior to having a heart attack, right? At such a young age. So let me give you some benefits, of course, of some of the things that I take. So the beetroots, right? They full of vitamin D, vitamin C, and vitamin K. And they also boost the immune system so you don't get sick as much. And it has good HDL, so that's why it has that red look. Works definitely good. It's good for the heart. You know what I'm saying? Good for the blood. Lowers cholesterol. That's what beetroots does. And also clears the skin up, right? Many antioxidants, of course, with that. Lowers blood sugar. And like I said, it has skin improvements and it's good for the heart. Then you go on to your pineapple, right? Pineapple is great for the digestive system because it's very acidic, right? So when you take that, if you have things like, say like you have a bad acid reflux problem, pineapple helps with that. Also apple cider vinegar, which we'll get into. But right now, pineapple helps with the digestive system, and it also it reduces cancer. It has been known to reduce cancer. You know what I'm saying? It's full of antioxidants as well, right? Then you have the ginger. Now the ginger is a good source, man. Now ginger helps with arthritis, like if you're sore and things like that after workouts, you can go in, take your, like a half or an inch of ginger, you can blend it up, however you want to do it. Put it in water, drink that, man, trust me, you'll feel the aches and pains go away. It's also, it fights against cancer. It's very high and it reduces blood pressure. Let's see, fights against heart disease and lung disease. Let me move right along. Then we have, what's my next ingredient? Carrots. Okay. Now the carrots is good for the skin. We know that for certain. Carrots is good for the heart. Like all these things we're talking about have antioxidants. they work with the blood. They lower cholesterol, lower blood pressure, lower blood sugar. They also improve skin improvement, so your skin becomes shiny. Also takes away bumps and acne and things like that. You know, and my last ingredient is lemon. Now, lemon is the vital ingredient. Actually, I compare lemon to being closer to the tree of life. For those of you who would understand it, right? Because what the lemon does is, man, lemon lowers everything. It lowers blood stroke. It has vitamin C, lots of vitamin C. It's just good. Lowers blood pressure. It actually it goes along with bringing on weight loss. Hope I'm using the correct words here. It brings on a lot of weight loss because it reduces your appetite when you take that. So, as I stated before, those 5 ingredients: ginger, carrots, beets, and pineapple. You're going to blend those. I'm going to do a video and I'm going to show you how I do it, right? After you blend those and you pour that into a glass, you squeeze it out, right? And then it produces juice, of course. It'll be a purplish looking juice because of the beetroots. Then after you've done, you take your 1 lemon or 2, depending on how many cups of juice you made and how much you've made, and you squeeze that in and stir it up and you drink that. You drink that in the morning and you drink that in the evening. Now, the next video, I'm gonna kind of make it short. We're gonna make it quick. I'm just want to go into the benefits today. And then when I make the video, I'll cover quick benefits and we'll just do it and you'll see what it looks like and basically how to take it. All right. So I've been doing that for a year. That combination of vegetables and things like that, right? So the second combination I was taking was ginger, garlic, lemon, and honey, right? Every morning for about, well, what I did was I alternated. I took that for 2 weeks, and then I would alternate and take this for 2 weeks because I didn't want to combine it all in one day, right? So ginger, garlic, lemon, and honey, right? We already know the benefits of ginger. We know the benefits of lemon. Honey and garlic is the number one, to me, the number 1 herb on the planet when it comes to healing and dealing with bacteria and things of that nature in the body. It's just very difficult to deal with because it has a smell that comes along with it, right? But what I would do, I would take about half a thumb ginger, right? And then I would take 1 clove of garlic, and then I would take a half a lemon, right? And I would leave the peeling on because actually when you take the peeling off, the white that's inside, the white that's right up underneath the yellow or green, depending on what color, lemon or lime you can use. That is where all the richness and the ingredients and the minerals are actually at. Now I learned this from some people and doctors, right? So I would scrape off the outside, like just a very thin layer on the outside to keep the whites. And then I would blend that all together, right? Once I blend that, I would squeeze that out. And make sure I got this right. Yeah, squeeze that out. So you got your ginger, you got your garlic, and you got your half a lemon. So you got your half a thumb of ginger, you got your 1 clove of garlic, and you also have a half a lemon. You're gonna blend that up with about a cup of water. Let's say a cup of water, or 3/4 to a cup of water, right? And then you're gonna pour that into the skillet or a frying pan. Once you squeeze it out, right? Pour that into a frying pan. You're gonna bring that to a medium type heat where it starts to fizzle. You kind of do it for about 2 to 3 minutes. What you're doing right here is you're actually bringing out those properties that are in the garlic, that's in the ginger and the lemon, and they are fusing together to be more potent and powerful, right? Then once that's done, you pour that into a cup. You take you a teaspoon or a half a teaspoon of honey, depending on the taste you want. Because if you've left the lemon hull on, it'll be bitter. But if you scrape that first layer off, then it's going to be okay. But you take that teaspoon of honey, you add that to it, stir it up, and you drink that in the morning. Guess what that does? This is it's powerful. It boosts the immune system, lowers blood pressure. What else? Unclog those blocked arteries. That's the whole key. And this is the combination that I took that actually helped me start breathing again properly. I mean, it took about a month, almost 2 months before it took about, actually, when you take it, it'll be like 2 weeks before you actually, maybe 1 to 2 weeks. I guess it depends on the person, but I'm going off personal experience and really, me taking it. It took about 2 weeks before I realized that I was getting better. But about a month and a half, wow, I was breathing almost normally again. I had some pains because you're dealing with a spiritual and psychological thing, because you have a lot going on in your mind. If you've been told you had a heart attack, right? But anyway, I kept a positive mind throughout all of this. I always said positive things, and I always thought positively, And at the beginning, I wasn't thinking that way. But as I began to take the herbs and the things that the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob gave us, I began to get better. You understand? Because a healthy mind leads to a healthy body, right? So, as I said, this combination here with ginger, garlic, lemon, and honey, it is the best at clearing clogged airways. A lot of people, when they have heart attacks or even strokes, things build up over time, and you see certain signs, but you don't know. You may have hypertension, you sweat a lot. What's happening? Those arteries are supposed to be open like this, right? But they begin to constrict, and plaque begins to build up on the walls. So then all of a sudden it comes like this, and the blood cannot come. The blood is trying to go to the brain, so the blood is stuck. And what happens is you have a heart attack. That's what happened to me. And since September of 2021, I have not truly had any heart pains or chest pains. I may have felt something here and there, because you're never going to get rid of everything completely. But what you want to do is you want to reduce, and you really want it to go away, but you're trying to reduce and not have it come back as it was before. So you have to take measures in effect. You got to eat much oatmeal in the morning so you can get that fiber. That fiber also works and helps clear out those arteries and blocked and clogged arteries, right? You want to stay away from a lot of spicy foods. So you want to eat good, wholesome food, not a lot of salt. Stay away from the sugar. The sugar actually carries bacteria and things and carries it through the blood. The less sugar you eat, the healthier you will be. So I brought this out because I want to let you know that the class I'm going to do today, this is about the first 18 minutes. I hadn't even brought out a scripture. Yet and still, this is what led me to this, coming to this knowledge of understanding, is because the way I used to eat, the things that I used to do, the lifestyle that I used to live prior to coming into the knowledge of the truth. I had no knowledge of who God was or what his name was or who I was as a person. Not at all. But the Most High had mercy on me. And due to him having mercy on me, now I'm able to give an account of what happened to me prior coming into the truth. So I hope that if you watch the video, you can take these ingredients and place them together, and it will help you. And the ginger, garlic, lemon, and honey, it works it works. It's almost like a miracle cure. It helps with everything. It helps with your mind, your eyesight, especially the carrots on the other side. It helps with a lot of things. And I also want to give you one other thing. In the morning also, if you take a teaspoon of turmeric and a half a teaspoon of black pepper, because that activates the cumin that's in the turmeric, which is a element that's inside the turmeric. Right, that helps clear out the arteries in the clogged arteries, right, the airways. You take a teaspoon of turmeric, a half a teaspoon or less of black pepper, right? You put that in the cup. You take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You take a tablespoon of honey. Take a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper or a teaspoon of cayenne, how much you can take. You mix that up, and you also take, you can take a a teaspoon of, what is it, olive oil. You mix that up, warm or cold water, and drink that. Now, it'll be a little rough at first, but that's also another way to clear or unclog the arteries, right? So just giving you some suggestions. You can go online, you can go to YouTube, you can type in unclogged arteries. Most of the things I just said to you on this video, they'll come up. And you can use that as a tool to help yourself. Because God gave us herbs to help us in this fight against sickness and disease. So let's get right into it. We're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. We're going to read some things on what causes sicknesses and diseases. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. And it reads, But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So as the children of Israel, you people of Negroid and Indian descent, right? We were given law, statutes, and commandments by the Most High God, Yahweh, to keep. And if we didn't keep them, he would put curses on us as a nation of people, right? So let's go to verse 61 now. Deuteronomy 28, verse 61. It says, Also, every sickness and every plague, which is not written in this book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. So even if the disease or plague is not mentioned in the Bible, the Most High God said it's still going to come upon you children of Israel, you people of Negroid and Indian descent, you so-called blacks, you so-called Hispanics, you so-called Native Americans, you so-called West Africans, wherever we have been scattered at through slavery and slave trades and different captivities. Our people, the curses cling to us. Why? Because we do not keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's what happened to me. Because I didn't keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, and I got sick. Right? So we're going to come out of the Apocrypha, right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 14. The book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 30 and 14. And it reads, Better is the poor, being sound and strong of constitution, than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. You hear that? It says, Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. You hear that? There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is bitter. Salakia. Death is better than a bitter life and a continual sickness. So God is telling us that a sound body is better than sickness. So we're trying to attain that. So those of us who have not followed God's dietary law because we probably didn't know what it was, you understand? And by the time we found out, we were already in conditions. But see, the Most High is having mercy on us, so he's allowing us to learn the secrets of the Bible and different things to take to cure ourselves as long as we continue to keep his law, statutes, and commandments, right? So let's get Sirach now, chapter 38, verse 1. Go to the book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 1. And it reads, it says, Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him. For the Lord have created him. Right, so there's people that the Lord have placed on the planet, which we call it physicians or doctors, right? The Lord have given them certain knowledge in order to use to help those who are sick. But let's continue on. Verse 2. For of the Most High committeth healing. You hear that? And he shall receive honor of the king. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. The Lord have created medicine out of the earth. You hear that? The Lord have created medicine out of the earth. And he that is wise will not abhor them. Man, he that is wise will not get rid of them. Say, I ain't going to deal with that. So now you have physicians that have medicine, right? But is that medicine out of the earth? No, they make most of these medicines in the lab. They may extract something out of a plant, but they mix it in with a lot of other things, and they don't cure you. These are Esau, the so-called white man, and all the other nations' medicines. But Esau, Edom, being the so-called Caucasian, he's the leading physician on the planet. Everybody goes to him for surgeries and medications, right? No matter where you are in the world, you're going to travel to Europe or America or somewhere they have been set up. So it says, the physician, let me read verse 1 again, Sirach 38, verse 1. It says, honor a physician with honor, do unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him, for the Lord have created him. So you honor a physician, but it also says that the medicines come of the earth, right? We're going to give an account how you can honor a physician and not honor God. Because when you honor a physician, you also must pray before you go to that physician. Let's get 2 Chronicles now. Chapter 16, verse 21. Salakia, 16, verse 12. The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 16, and verse 12. Listen to this. And Asa, in the 30th and 9th year of his reign, was diseased in his feet. Talking about the king of Judah, right? Salakia. One of the kings, right? And it says he was diseased in his feet until his disease was exceeding great. Yet in his disease he sought not the Lord, but to the physicians. You hear that? He didn't seek the Lord though. He just sought the physician. You got to seek the physician and you got to pray. And it says, verse 14, and they buried him in his own sepulchre, which he had made for himself in the city of David, and laid him in the bed which was filled with sweet odors and diverse kinds of spices prepared for the apothecaries art. And they made a very great burning for him. You see that? So he went to the physician without what? Without consulting the Lord, praying about it, fasting. So it's letting us know that even before we go to the doctor, we need to be in great heaviness of mind, fasting and praying on whatever ailment it is that we have, right? All right, let's get Job 13, verse 4. Go to the book of Job 13, verse 4. Let me show you something. And it reads, but ye are forgers of lies. Who is he talking about? Talking about the Caucasian. Ye are all physicians of no value. Why are they physicians of no value? Because they giving you vaccines and shots and these things of this nature. They don't even know the outcome. They're testing you. I know this video might get struck for this. But we're going to let the truth come out. Then they give you flu shots. They give you all these different type shots, right? You still end up getting the flu. You still end up getting, you know what I'm talking about, the CV. They give you a Band-Aid. But the Most High God said he has cures. C-U-R-E-S, meaning it will not come back. Okay. So they are all forgers and physicians of forgers of lies. You understand? Physicians of no value. All right, let's go back to the book of Sirach now, chapter 38, and let's start at verse 18. Did I read enough of that? That's okay. Sirach 38 and 18. It says, but Salakia, let's go back to Sirach, start at verse 5. It says, no, we're going to start at verse 9. Sirach 38, verse 9. It says, my son, in thy sickness, be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. You see that? So that's what we're talking about. King Asa, he didn't pray to the Lord. He just went to the physician. God said you got to pray to him and then go to the physician. You understand? It says, verse 10, leave off from sin. What is your sickness? What is all sickness on the planet? It's sin. Because you're not doing something according to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you're an Israelite, people of Negroid and Indian descent. Because all the other nations can eat abominable foods like crabs, shrimp, lobsters, swine, which is pork, all type of crustaceans, snakes, alligators. They can eat that. We, as a people, can't touch that because we were set apart. We were holy. According to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, we got set apart. We can't do what the other nations do. Let me see. That's verse 11. Give a sweet savor and a memorial of fine flour, and make a fat offering as not being. Then give place to the physician, for the Lord have created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him. So you see that the Most High say, give an offering unto him, pray to him, then go to the physician, because the Most High is guiding that physician's mind when you get there to give you the right antidote for your cure. Now let's drop down to verse 18. For of heaviness cometh death, and heaviness of the heart breaketh strength. In affliction also sorrow remaineth. And the life of the poor is the curse of the heart. Take no heaviness to heart. Drive it away. And remember the last end. So when you get sick and you being afflicted, man, look, you got to, like I said earlier, you got to pick your spirit up. You got to think positive. You got to say, I know that this is going to work, because the Most High God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and his son, and his name, and the son of Yahushai, they're going to have mercy on me. You got to have faith, like Hebrews 11:1 say. You got to have faith, man. All right. Let's get Isaiah. No, forget that. Let's get Sirach 30, verse 21. Go to the book of Sirach 30, verse 21. The book of Sirach, chapter 30, verse 21. And it reads, it says, the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Verse 23, love thine own soul, and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before time. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. You see that? You got to have a cheerful and a good heart in these times. Even if you're going through suffering and you're being afflicted, do it with honor. Do it with pride in the Most High God, knowing that he will heal you. Have that faith. You understand? That's what God is telling us to do. All right. Let's see here. Let's get Sirach now, 31, verse 16. And it says, eat as it become a man, that those things which are set before... So like it, we're going to drop that. We're going to drop that. I want to get right to it. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 23. Go to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 23. And it reads, drink no longer water, but use a little wine for thy stomach's sake and thy own infirmities. Giving you an example of things that are being used of God that he put here on the earth, because wine is made from what? Grapes. And certain type fruits. He said, for your infirmities. So wine does what? It helps and cures your infirmities, right? Let's get Psalms 51 and 7 now. The book of Psalms, chapter 51, verse 7. And it reads, purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Hyssop is an herb, right? It says again, Psalms 51 and 7. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. So the Most High is cleaning us. Cleaning us how? With hyssop, one of the herbs. We're going to get into that. Now, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 38, verse 1. Go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 38, and verse 1. We're almost done. Isaiah 38, verse 1. And it reads, in those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came unto him and said unto him, thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. You hear that? So now here's King Hezekiah of Judah. He's being told that he's getting ready to die, right? Now, like as we said, the Most High will have mercy on you, right? So let's go to verse 21. And this verse 21 says, for Isaiah hath said, let them take a lump of figs and lay it for a plaster upon the boil, and he shall recover. Because he was full of boils, right? So they took figs, plastered it upon the boils. And remember, King Hezekiah is also praying to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh is his name. So with prayer and through a physician, he was healed. And he got life added on to his life, right? Just examples, you understand? Let's get Revelations 22 and 2 now. Go to the book of Revelations, chapter 22, verse 2. And it reads, in the midst of the street of it, this is even at the end. This is even at the end of the so-called age of this world. It says, on either side of the river was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruit, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. You see that? The leaves of that tree were for the healing of the nations. All right. Now we're going to jump into some verses where God has allowed us to see he has put certain herbs here for helping. Go to John 19:39. The book of St. John, chapter 19, verse 39. Gonna go quickly on these. Write these down if you got pen and paper, okay? John 19, verse 39. And it reads, and there came unto Nicodemus, which at the first came to Jesus by night, and brought him a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 100 pounds weight. Myrrh and aloe. That's one, right? Go to Matthew 23, verse 23. Matthew 23, verse 23. And it reads, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithes of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These all ye have done, and not to leave the others undone. So what did he say? For ye have paid tithe of mint and anise and cumin. You hear that? Cumin. That's what's in the turmeric, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm showing you that these are in the Bible. Let's get Genesis 37, 25. Genesis 37, verse 25. And it reads, and they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. That's balm right there, right? Let's get Exodus 12 and 8. Exodus chapter 12, verse 8. And I'm just moving right along, showing you and identifying some of the herbs that are in the Bible, right? Exodus chapter 12 and verse 8. And it reads, and they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Bitter herbs is all types of herbs. You know what I'm talking about? So bitter herbs is another herb on the planet. Let's go to Ezekiel 27, 19. Ezekiel 27, verse 19. All right. And it reads, Dan also and Javan, going to and fro, occupied thy fairs, brought iron, cassia, calmus, were in thy market. You hear that? So cassia is another herb. Let's go to Exodus 30, verse 23. Exodus 30, verse 23. And it reads, it says, take thou also unto thee principal spices of pure myrrh, 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon, half so much, even 250 shekels, of sweet calamus, 250 shekels. So it's cinnamon there, right? So like it. Let's go to Isaiah 28, 23. So see, we identifying pretty much a lot of the scriptures in the Bible where the Most High has identified herbs that we use for healing. Isaiah 28, 23. And it reads, give ye ear. It's like, is that where I want? Let me see. No, that's not what I want. But it's okay. We've talked about Kuman already. Drop that. Forgive me, Salakia. Let's go to Matthew 2:11. Matthew 2:11. The book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 11. And it reads, and when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary and his mother, and fell down and worshiped him. And when they had opened his treasures, they presented him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. You see that? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So that's the frankincense. Let's go to Numbers 11 and 5. Numbers, the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 5. Right. And it reads, we remembered the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. You understand? Psalms 51 and 7, we read that already, talking about purge me with hyssop, right? Let's get Matthew 23:23. Matthew 23, verse 23. Trying to get as much as I can get in. I have about 5 minutes left. Matthew 23, verse 23. And it reads. Is that what I want? That's 22. So Matthew 23, verse 23. And it reads, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. We read this too. For you do pay. So really, these scriptures identify some of the herbs and things that we use to the Most High God gave us for healing. But remember, in order for the healing to be complete, the use of the herbs to be complete, you also have to pray before you go to the physician. So prayer is key. Prayer is key, and also a clear and a very righteous mind, pious mind, humble mind, happy spirit, knowing that the Most High will heal you, according to Hebrews 11 and 1. You have to have faith. So I want to put that class together today. I hope it was edifying. I just want to show kind of what happened to me coming into the knowledge of this truth. Some of the things that I dealt with, having a small heart attack some year ago or so, and what it is I took to kind of deal with it, and what I'm continuing to take. And trust me, it has been a great help. A great help and a great help. And I give all honor and glory to Yahweh B'Ashem Yahweh Shai every day of my life. So I hope this class was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh B'Ashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom, 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 shalom.